Science jerks. Science jerks. Science jerks. The rate of change in acceleration of science. Science jerks.
Welcome to the Science Jerks. My name's Dave Chacho. I'm here with my co-host Robert Chan.
Hi.
And we are back for the second episode with Rainsberry, otherwise known as Curtis Rainsberry.
That's me.
Welcome back. How'd you learn anything?
You know what I learned?
Did you unlearn anything?
I learned that I've unlearned a lot of things. That's this theme for that was I have not stored and remembered things I learned. The last 29 years of my life have been about forgetting.
Well, that's very Zen of you.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
We drink to
learn
forget,
and then forget so
and
that
we
you can
podcast to remember.
become one with the universe.
Yeah, I feel very one with the universe at like a very basal knowledge level. Like me and an elementary student could be like, "Hey man, do you know much?" I'm like, "No," and he's like, "Me neither."
Yay! Let's
We're
experience
both
enlightenment together.
basal
Pudding
together.
cups. Like,
To be fair, you do know a shit ton about pudding cups.
yeah, that's true. My favorite is Snack Club. It's SNAK, not
Sure.
C. Take the C out.
No, God, no.
Clever little turn of spelling.
Someone's already used snack. That won't stop us.
We should check if there's any big snack cup science stories.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any recently, but there's got to be some on the
Yeah,
horizon.
there's been a kind of devoid of snack cup stories recently in the news.
It's weird. Yeah,
Snap
I think
cup technology hasn't advanced much since the 80s. I
yeah.
feel.
Well, that was definitely the peak. Yeah,
the Eastern
pinnacle.
Europeans, I think, are ahead of us in that regard.
Yeah.
They're
'Cause I
putting a lot
remember-
of money into snack cup research.
I remember a day before snack cups existed, and you had to get your
back
pudding
when there was a C
in
the
a bowl.
snack cup.
Yeah.
You had a box of pudding mix, and you made pudding, and it was in a bowl.
Like some sort of
No
animal?
cup. Yeah.
Would you
It
wait
was
in line
like-
for bread afterwards?
You had to
Jesus.
spark two
God.
rocks together to heat it up.
Yeah. They have the pudding, like homemade pudding, gets that film on the top. Mm-hmm. That's,
That's
gross.
all
but
we
some
had to
people
eat
like
was
it,
pudding
like-
film.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the snack cup would get that same film if you opened the thing and then just left it out.
Yeah, but no
But
one would
who
ever do
leaves the
that.
snack cup
Yeah.
out?
That's right. You could leave homemade pudding out because it's not as good as a snack cup.
That's the genius of the technology. You eat the entire snack cup.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would think that a fat kid would know that you could eat an entire thing of pudding. I say that as a fat kid
Yeah.
who was eating
Who
an
ate
entire
A
bowl
thing
of
of
pudding.
pudding.
I speak
it's
from
a
a
thing that
knowledge
can-
deep down inside.
We all
What's
have
up with
different
tapioca, right?
Dude,
Weird, huh?
Tapioca.
you know what?
What is tapioca?
I'm all about boba. But,
Yeah.
I can't go back to. I'm not gonna
I
put
do
boba into
actually
pudding.
love tapioca pudding, but I have no idea what it
I don't know.
is,
Yeah.
what it's made of.
It's the
Tapioca.
mayonnaise of pudding. Like,
Some little bubble-shaped animals. I don't know.
Yes, they're like
Bubble-
plankton. You find them in the ocean.
Are they
Yeah.
bubble algae?
Baleen whales eat them,
yeah.
and we make them into tea drinks.
Tea drinks and pudding cups.
You didn't realize that those were eggs of crustaceans in the ocean?
No, but that
They leave
doesn't,
that part out, yeah.
that doesn't stop me at all from enjoying boba.
Boba was big when I was in college. It was like the biggest tea to get.
Wait a minute, where'd you go to college?
Cal State San Bernardino. So,
Oh yeah.
Local
No,
boy.
it's still
It-
it's still big there.
Yeah.
You just haven't been to a college town lately.
It was really
That's
big
true.
in San Francisco when I was there in the early
Yeah.
aughts.
Here's the thing: anywhere you go that there are Asians, boba is still huge.
But, like, yeah,
I'm
man.
not sure there's Asians in San Francisco.
College used to be pretty big for me between like 2001 and 2006. College was huge, and now it's like college doesn't even exist anymore.
Everybody I knew was
yeah,
in college
everyone
back
I knew
then.
was college. And then like now it's like pff, you don't even go to college.
Nobody
right?
does it anymore
Yeah.
now. Speaking of college,
They
let's
do science in
some
college.
science.
Yeah.
Vermeology.
There are teeny tiny quantum dot factories under your feet as we speak.
Where?
Chad
Get 'em
here
out.
with Dave Chacho and guest Curtis Rainsberry. Quantum dots are used in a lot of places. They use them to track cancer cells and that sort of thing. They fluoresce.
Oh, these are the little glowing things they inject into people to track different diseases.
it's
or
teeny
what?
tiny semiconducting material, and because of the way the electrons behave, when you hit up, they show up. but it's really hard to make them because they're teeny tiny chunks of semiconducting metals.
Now, when they say quantum, we're not talking about like
No, not like
quarks or
yeah,
something.
yeah, not like subatomic.
We're talking about just like little pieces of fluorescent metal.
Yeah, yeah. And they can make them fairly easily enough. They use them for solar panels and computer screens and that sort of thing. But to actually make it biocompatible so that you can put it in your body, it's a lot longer process. And what they found is that earthworms do something similar. They, because basically they eat dirt and you get a lot of metals in the dirt. Their body basically can transmute it into something that is biocompatible.
It's almost like their entire body is like a liver. They process out the
there's a section
metals
for the earthworm's sake because it's going to poison them otherwise.
So the earthworms are like they're better at making these than we are.
It's a lot
in the
easier.
sense that we can't make them at all. I mean, in our bodies.
Yeah.
We have to do like
Scientists in
Yeah,
labs.
we have to go to labs.
a big
Earthworms
chemical
just
process.
Yeah.
these dumb worms are just
Like-
eating dirt.
We could just
Fuck you,
eat
man.
a bunch
Look
of
at
fluorescent
this.
metal
Yeah.
and poop out quantum dots.
Which then we put back into our bodies.
Yeah.
So how smart are we for eating worm shit?
Yeah.
Actually, it's not the worm shit, though. That's what I originally thought. But they have to dissect the worms to get these out.
Oh no!
So we're killing worms.
those poor worms.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that worth it to cure cancer?
For
Killing
me,
innocent worms?
the only thing it's worth to kill a worm is so you can catch and kill a fish.
Exactly.
That's the only
I think
justifiable way to kill a worm.
that's PETA's rules as well.
Yeah.
So we can
Our
fish
neighbor
with them.
PETA.
If you use the entire worm,
Yeah.
Can we then, as we're cutting up the fish to eat, can we then pull the worm
quantum
out?
dots
The
out.
the only acceptable way.
Okay.
so you can
I feel like we're
Yeah.
back to the problem of it being a really complex process.
first
Yeah.
you shove them full of metals and toxins, then you feed them to a fish,
Yeah.
then
Then you get
cut
the
them out of the
money. Yeah.
fish,
This is like the turducken of cancer
Yeah.
research.
then you get the women.
That's why the cancer won't be solved, is because not a lot of scientists are good at fishing.
Yeah. That makes total sense
Yeah.
to me. It's all about finding the source of the problem,
Because you got to
not the
go
symptom.
early in the morning, and if the fish aren't biting, and it's like,
Right.
I've got leukemia, help me. And then
they've
That's
gotta get
why
back to
no
the-
good
the
science
lab.
comes out of Canada.
yeah.
Good fishers, bad science.
And down here,
Yeah.
great scientists, bad,
Bad
fishers.
If we
It's
could just
never-
connect ourselves.
Find a way for the two people to like meet up somehow.
That won't happen, though.
Transmit
It just won't
information to each
happen.
other.
Why don't we erase the borders, guys?
Yeah.
Because we don't want those fucking Canadians coming in
That's a
and
good
taking our
point.
good American jobs.
Then we'd have Canadians.
I really like the idea of using animals to make awesome technology for us. A while back, they were inserting spider genes into goats, and the goat milk that came out had strands of the proteins in spider silk, so that rather than waiting for a fucking spider to spin its web and then taking it and turning it into stuff, they found that a goat could produce it much faster.
Terrifying.
It is amazing.
If you
Terrifying.
think it's
Spider
creepy
goat,
walking
spider
through a
goat.
spider web at night,
Yeah.
imagine walking through a goat web.
Oh yeah, a
so
goat
scary.
cheese web. Yeah, no, that's the beginning of us no longer being in control. That's what that is. Like science
Well,
is going.
dude, it's not like a goat's gonna fuck a spider and start making little baby spider goats. We did it, we injected it, and it did a thing, and then it stops doing a thing.
Where's the end,
Where does
brother?
it end,
Where do you draw the
man?
line?
When it stops being awesome, it is still awesome.
It's gonna be awesome right before you get crushed. You know, like that's one of the things we're like, wow, that grizzly bear that we gave lasers to is so. Oh God.
We made blue whales that can fly
Yeah.
over cities like blimps. Oh,
Yeah,
but it
flying-
runs
yeah.
out after 4 hours.
If your blue whale is in the air for more than 4 hours, see a doctor.
Ooh, crap.
A lot of science just seems like someone got high and was like, could you put spiders in goats? Dude, do you think you could put spiders in a goat?
Dude,
It's like, yeah.
goat spiders, man.
Yes, yes, all of these things
Oh, wait.
are amazing
Spider
and
goats.
should be done.
Try the goat cheese. It's made of spider.
Tastes like spiders.
Yeah.
Xenobiology.
Chan here with Chacho and guest Curtis Rainsberry. We were talking about possible life on water planets and possibly life under frozen
about
water.
Jar Jar Binks.
We also did. I was going to
species.
just let that one go. I was just not going to talk about that.
What's so much
I was
more to
gonna-
talk about with Jar Jar?
They have dug up an East Antarctican lake, Lake Vita. It's been buried for almost 3,000 years under 20 meters of ice. We're doing that in a lot of different places. There are still some places that we haven't made it to yet. There are a couple lakes that have been untouched for millions of years, but we're starting with these ones that we can actually get to and finding things that we didn't even think could exist. The Vita bacteria.
There's life.
Yeah, there is life. So, it is entirely conceivable that we could find a planet that's frozen underwater, or, a little closer to home, Europa. There's still a strong likelihood that underneath that sheet of ice around the entire moon,
They're pretty sure there's a lake on Europa underneath the ice, right?
yeah, like the entire fucking planet basically is a lake.
Also, Pluto might have a lake deep underneath.
Really?
Because they're just predicting that the force of the weight of the ice is such that it heats up the
Right,
core.
right.
And there could be a lake inside.
Yeah, and Europa, they think, would have liquid water because of the tidal forces from Jupiter.
Jupiter.
So, like, when we're doing this kind of research, because there are xenobiologists and there are xenobotanists, and their job is to figure out what life looks like on other planets,
And find it, guys. Your
those-
job is to find it.
like poor theoretical physicists,
Yeah.
they don't have anything they can
You're
do.
not going to ever be good at your job.
Like, I think maybe they look like this.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Like a sketch artist that no one's seen the criminal of. Like, it's like the criminal could look like this, or this, or this, or this, or this.
The one who stole the Lindbergh baby,
Yeah.
probably black. Let's just say he's black. I don't know.
You just look like a black guy. Go find us one.
So we're looking at these things and seeing like, okay, here's another example of how life forms. They think that it, like survives off of hydrogen and oxides of nitrogen, because there's no oxygen in that water. So like, oh, in that environment, life does exist. So we can check that off on the box of things, of possible ways that life could look like. There was a meteorite that they found just last year from Mars that they aged at about 2.1 billion years old. And they found way more water on it than they expected to find.
So, yeah, it's very likely there's water supplies underneath Mars.
Or at least there did at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is the case, then now we can look for a certain kind of life, or we can look for a certain kind of fossil. Like, did life exist? It probably looks something like this. Let's go look for that, as opposed to just like, let's just dig and hope that something looks like a...
So are they
Yeah.
like coring into these lakes?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
ice coring down?
Like
this is 27
they shoot
meter
hot water
core.
jets. Actually, they have like hot water drills where they shoot almost boiling water down into the ice until they hit the lake.
They dig two holes, shoot the hot water down one, and have the other hole to pull that water back out,
Release the
so they
pressure.
can keep doing that.
Oh.
No.
They just had to shut one down in Siberia because it got all locked up.
Actually, in Antarctica, just this week, they had to shut one down because the boiler malfunctioned.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. I thought it was Siberia. Where is it? It's up near the Arctic Circle.
Pretty cold.
Antarctica.
Yeah.
This is someplace
Siberia
cold.
is the other
Yeah.
side of the Earth.
Both cold.
We're talking about the bottom of the Earth, Antarctica, and they say they predict
Bottom.
there's like 400 lakes or something underneath
Drilling into
Antarctica.
her bottom. Mother Earth is bottom. She takes it
with our water drill.
We're shooting stuff
Get
into her
ready
bottom.
for a boiling hot water drill.
One
Earth.
hole you put it in, and the other hole
Right.
stuff comes out.
Oh, okay, no, that's disgusting. That's not supposed to happen. If you're shooting...
God, she's broken.
The Earth likes it.
Didn't they just recently disprove the amoeba that lived on could breathe in arsenic or something?
Yes,
They did?
They're pretty sure that it was just poor experimentation. They found some things that looked like they survived on arsenic because the way they took in molecules was just a little bit different. But yeah, they think they just basically dirty instruments and that sort of thing.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean to say that it doesn't exist, and it's possible that it does. It's just much less likely.
It's a job where you can almost not be ever wrong. You're like, I don't know. I mean, maybe there are pizza beings on Mars. Nothing points to that exactly yet, but you haven't fucking been there.
Well, you
boss,
can't prove there's
Mr. Boss.
not.
Yeah.
500 years ago, if you look at the science, a lot of those things have come to pass, and so some people were vindicated.
Yeah,
Not
100
everybody.
years from now, all this stuff is going to be so silly to the robots that run us. Could you believe they used to think? The robots would be proper British. They program themselves to have that voice. Mm-hmm. They love Downton Abbey.
Synthetic biology.
All right, fine. So you don't want to splice goats with spiders. How about synthetic biology? The whole point of synthetic biology is to build things from the ground up. They have microbes already they use to clean up oil spills, for example. You spread those out and they break the petroleum down into things that are less shitty to have smeared all over a duck's ass. Synthetic biology is going to try and build something from the ground up rather than just modifying. People complaining about GMOs, genetically modified this and that. So what they're trying to do essentially is create a toolbox
To kill those people.
genetic material to murder hippies. That was at the end of this article. I was kind of surprised myself. Made it through 11
turn,
pages.
yeah. It's a real big turn at the end.
We found this DNA sequence is best for eating hippies.
It's still a pretty new science. I mean, we've only barely mapped full genomes.
So what's their most common application other than like the oil cleanup right now? Like what's their end goal with some of these?
There's not a lot that they have accomplished yet. They're getting along with places like they're figuring out how to do these things and modify them. One of the things they want to do is kill cancer.
If you could have a time machine, would you go back in time and kill cancer?
We would go back and kill cancer Hitler. Because surely by that point, somebody would have gone back in time and made Hitler even more deadly.
Yeah.
By crossbreeding him with cancer.
Yeah. Oh, and spiders.
And AIDS.
It's Spider Cancer Hitler!
Spider cancer Hitler has AIDS.
Oh, that's sad.
It was evil, and then it became sad.
So it is kind of like they're building machines, though. So what they're doing is taking little pieces that do a certain job and trying to combine them together to do new jobs.
Right. They're like mapping genomes and like, okay, this segment does this. So let's take this out, and now we know we can replicate that. And
so there's a little segment that detects cancer.
Right.
And there's another little segment that explodes cells, makes them die.
These are like Mother Nature's widgets.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's almost like computer programming. They're just picking pieces and like coding them together to make a new app.
Yeah.
Body apps.
Body apps. I mean, they're still working on it, but the idea is that eventually you'll say, like, I want something that cleans the air of carbon dioxide because we've, got too much pollution in the air. Okay, we know that this part here does this. This detects carbon monoxide molecules, and this portion here consumes carbon monoxide and breaks it down into carbon and oxygen.
I've never felt like this before, and I'm not usually this type of person, but like we're like turning on these machines that we don't know how to turn off. That's what's happening now in this day and
Well,
age.
no, right.
We're turning on machines that don't have an
absolutely
off
happening.
switch.
Right now, it's theoretical. Like, we could build this machine, so by the time we actually get around to making this machine, we'll know what the off switch is.
That's assumed.
Yeah, but we're
What, like,
talking
when
about
you-
self-replicating strands of DNA
Yeah.
and just throwing them
Did you
out
guys?
into the world.
Mother Nature will find a way. Goldblum and I talked about this.
The first-
a drop of water
the
on your
first fucking
knuckle,
car. It's not like someone was like, I don't know if we should build this car because what happens if we turn it on and it doesn't turn off? It just drives fucking forever.
Well, like we knew we could take
Cars don't
we could take a
replicate
hammer to the
themselves.
car. Like they were like, if it does do that, just take a hammer to it,
we
mister.
take teeny tiny hammers to the microbes.
Microbe Hammers.
That's what-
Microbe Hammer is my favorite rapper from the like late 80s and 90s.
Oh yeah, he was great. Recombinant DNA was a good song.
Yeah.
Some of the fun things that they're thinking about doing, because once you start thinking in terms of, not just fixing things that exist, but like making brand spanking new things, they're looking at food and, where there was a point where hunger was imminent in the world in the 60s. The population was going to grow to the point where we could not feed them. We discovered a way to make wheat grow heavier yields. So now we have a lot more wheat and we can actually feed everybody. We're kind of getting close to the point again where population is going to exceed the amount of food production we have in the world. One of the things that they're suggesting is not just making more food, but manipulating plants to make them more resilient to, droughts and stuff, but also to tweak photosynthesis. So a plant basically collects energy from the sun, and we eat that energy that has been turned into like glucose, things that we can use. We're going to figure out ways to make that plant take in more energy and produce more at the cellular level. That's something that we'll be able to do once we start mucking about in
Out
here.
of control,
Terrifying.
mutant wheat fields.
Terrifying, Robert.
Better tasting, yummy wheat.
What about the genetically engineered and modified fish? What do you think of that?
I'm into it.
Into it?
I'm
Dave?
into it.
I'm
Why
out-
wouldn't
I'm
you
out
want
to it.
What's wrong with fish that grows fast so you can eat more of it?
I think the jury's still out on GMO.
I don't
fish
think
and-
we have enough. I don't think we know enough about it. I know nothing about it, but I don't think science knows enough about it to say, like, yeah, you'll be fine.
I'm definitely in favor of studying and trying to do these things.
Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Since day one, we had wolves. There were fucking wolves out there. We needed to find a way to deal with them. We took them in and gave them food, and they started calming down. And we bred
But you
that
know what?
wolf
We didn't
with
do
a
that.
smaller wolf, and then a smaller wolf with another smaller wolf.
We didn't inject that wolf with something.
It's the same damn thing, though.
We petted it and like gave it a lover that was more passive.
We're
didn't
making
make
it fast.
Teeny
We're doing
tiny
it a little
wolves and
fast.
inject them into our bloodstream.
Yeah.
Dude, oh man. If you want to fucking kill cancer,
Yeah.
you inject teeny tiny microbial wolves.
Yeah, take those spiders out of there. Get the wolves in there.
Hells yeah.
You give them cancer
Yeah.
as a treat.
Oh, yeah.
As you're training them, and then you inject them into your bloodstream, and they just run around looking for cancer.
It's time for a quiz.
It's time for a quiz. The second thrilling half of our competition with Curtis Rainsberry. Chan here with Chacho and Quizmaster Liz. As it stands, Chan is at 5, Dave is at 4, Curtis is at 3.
It's still anyone's game.
It is.
Since last episode, I have requested that the Quizmaster specifically comes up with questions Chan doesn't know.
I've requested hints and cheating on my end. We all put a request in. We don't know whose request was taken.
All right, so question the first. How old do scientists currently believe the Earth is? Is it A, 2.2 billion years? B, 3.0 billion years? Is it C, 4.5 billion years? Or D, 8.3 billion years?
5,000?
Tuesday, I believe it was.
Tuesday?
We should look that up.
All right, are we ready?
What's the answer?
The answer is C, 4.5 billion years, because at one point we believe they were 2.2 billion years apart from each other, but because of the fact that we reincarnate certain cells, the belief that 2.2 billion years was the official Earth date has been reformatted.
Wait, what?
Have you
What
heard
does
of
that
that?
have to do with reincarnation?
No, not reincarnation of cells, but like scientists believe that 4.5 billion years is how old the Earth is because of the fact of decay from a 2.5 billion year state. So that the fact that we have decay happening from 2.5 billion years,
Right.
we can reincarnate as to believe to be 4.
Radioactive decay started
Yes,
about
yes, exactly.
2.some billion years ago, but that means that the
Yes.
blob of Earth had
Yes,
been around for a couple billion years
exactly.
before that. So it can cool to the point where it can start to decay.
Exactly.
So I've had-
exactly.
Has nothing to do with
I've
Shirley
had
MacLaine.
2.5 billion past lives or 4.5
The
billion.
answer to your question is I don't care.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Did you not get it?
Well, I forgot what order things were in, but I guess the one I put B. But I don't know what
Okay.
B was.
That was like no, it was 3.0 billion.
3.0.
3.0
It was 3 billion
ago.
years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
It stood out. That one stood out to me. I was just trying to figure out what the Bible thought it was.
Right.
And
right.
then
that's
I knew that I should add a couple days.
some
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, next question. What were scientists looking for when they first detected gamma ray bursts with satellites?
Incredible hoax.
Was it A, supernova, B, a nuclear bomb blast, C, extrasolar planets, or D, a space capsule launch?
And Hulk is one of the choices.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, cool.
The answer is B, a nuclear
Boom.
bomb blast.
Check out that Cold War
Okay, that's
shit.
what I wanted to
Gamma
put, but I
ray
thought that was
bursts.
C.
Gamma ray bursts were
swear on
first
this.
detected when satellites were
We'll give you that.
used.
Yeah.
If you were-
I wanted to put nuclear, and I was like, well, one was satellites, and then the other one was this. I'm like,
Just write down nuclear next
that's
time.
what I'm going to do, yeah.
Well-
I can immediately forget what order they go in.
Well, the interesting
I
thing,
got that wrong.
gamma ray bursts were first detected when satellites were used to look for gamma ray resulting from illegal nuclear testing in the 1960s. So,
They were looking for Russian bombs.
yes, exactly.
That's what I was imagining.
I thought they were
Basically.
looking for like Sputnik launch or something, so I put D.
That would have been my second guess. I definitely didn't think they were looking for Starship.
For starships.
Yeah.
All right, next question. When will Halley's Comet make its next appearance? Will it be in 2015, 2048, 2051, or 2062?
Oh, damn it.
I saw it last time. I found.
Yeah, I know. I did too, but I'm like when did I
Ew.
see it?
The answer is 2062.
Damn.
Because Halley's Comet only orbits the sun approximately 76 years in a row. So the next Comlet is Comlet.
It's
What'd you have for
Comet.
breakfast?
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking whatever's in Chan's liquor box, and that's not necessarily a good thing.
is that a euphemism or is she actually,
Liquor box?
is that bar over there a liquor
It's
box to
evil.
her?
It's a litter box for
It's
evil.
a litter box.
It's a litter box full of liquor and
It is.
evil.
Look, the Halley's Comet is only going to surround us every 76 years.
So it came in the late 80s or early
1986
It was
was,
in
the last
oh.
2 years before I was born.
86. You don't have to tell us how young you are.
Who got that
Can't do that.
answer right, may I,
I got
ask?
it
ask?
wrong.
I
Get it
did.
wrong?
Yeah, I thought it was
Okay.
every like 50-ish years between every comet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I feel like I'm going to be dead when it comes back.
Were you old
Maybe-
enough to see it the first time?
No. I mean, I was born in 83, so I would have been old enough
You were
to
like
see it, but not
3?
remember
Remember
it.
it? Yeah.
I remember seeing it, and I remember thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna be dead when that comes."
When,
Yeah.
what comet did the Heaven's Gate people go behind?
Hail Bob.
Oh, yes.
I was
That
thinking
was
of
like the
Hellbop
90s.
too. I was
Hellbop.
confusing. So I thought Hellbop happened. Those people died behind it, but that's not Haley's.
You mean jumped aboard it?
Yeah, jumped aboard
Yeah,
it and
that's
rode,
what happened.
Rode
Rode
that
away.
wave to happiness.
Well, the next question is, when was celluloid the first synthetic plastic originally used for? Was it A, a household item like combs and buttons? B, military items like helmets? C, film? Or D, scientific research?
What's the answer?
The answer is A. John Wesley Hite invented a new compound as a substitute for ivory.
You got that again? Are you betting 100% on this right now?
I realize now that I need to not.
I got that
And I feel like you research the questions I'm about
God,
to state.
no. Do you know how little work I do for this show?
I love it.
To do any
It's
more
true.
That's
work?
beautiful.
No, it's apparent. But I'd like to throw this out there that what was the D was for scientific purposes.
Yeah.
Probably that still is true because he didn't invent it outside of science.
There are a lot of things that don't get
No.
invented.
That's what I was thinking. Like, isn't by default the first
A
thing
synthetic,
yeah?
Well,
Because
okay,
he has
like-
to test it.
Like
right?
frozen foods were invented by a guy who
Put food in
In
snow.
a freezer.
basically, yeah, he figured out a way to make it cold really fast.
He probably
but it wasn't-
experimented. Like he probably
Yeah, but-
made cold food before he
But
made
he wasn't
frozen food.
He wasn't doing it just for the sake of science.
Then
Like,
accidentally made really hot food.
Yeah.
and
gonna
decided
go-
that was
he
wrong.
made it too cold and it turned hot. It was like, he discovered it's less than absolute zero. Holy shit!
The
I'll take a
entropy of
half
my
point by
food.
proxy on this.
Okay, you can take that half
I will.
point.
I'm not-
you
I-
take
you know
that
what?
half
I
point.
won't win,
Point
but I'm
one,
just saying.
point five,
He didn't.
point five.
He didn't invent
Yes.
it by accident on a farm.
He did not.
He
Okay,
had some
last
scientific
question.
uses for it.
The last question. This hotshot pilot rigged up a 6-iron and took a one-handed swing from a golf club from the moon. He stated miles and miles and miles as he announced in satisfaction while watching the ball slow motion over the moon's dusty craters. Who was this sportsman? Was it A, John Glenn? Was it B, Alan Shepard? Or was it B, C?
This is really going to fuck you up, Curtis.
I'm out. I'm done.
Was it B, John Glenn? B, Alan Shepard?
It's one of the
B, Abraham Lincoln.
B, all of the above.
Or was it C, Deaky Slayton? Deaky Slayton. Jan
B
told me
alpha.
to get here at 8 o'clock.
I didn't realize that you would start drinking at 8. What's the answer? What's the
answer is John Wesley. Height was supposedly the John Glenn. Oh, no, Alan Shepard. Alan Shepard. Sorry, it was
we all
reading
win? We all win,
All
right?
of the above.
I think that was
I'm
one that
sorry,
wasn't
I'm
even on the
sorry.
list.
I'm sorry, I was starting to read a different answer. No. Okay.
Alan Shepard. I got it then.
The answer was Alan Shepard. The
You know who else
answer
got
is
Alan
Alan
Shepard?
Shepard.
Oh, you-
Alan
Do you know
Shepard.
fucking wrote Shepard just to make sure that
Motherfucking
the AB
cheater.
thing didn't fuck him up?
You guys are in
Not me, man.
collusion.
John Glenn,
Ooh.
baby.
Alan Shepard got the idea for the golf club swing after watching a Bob Hope Golf Club during the VIP tour of his Kennedy Space Center. Shepard missed his first swing,
Oh, so
shanked
sad.
his second shot, but nailed it in the third shot, which means third shot prevails, right?
It still
No.
sounds like a bogey to me.
Yeah, he probably
It's
didn't
a
nail it, but they were
bogey.
just like, just give it up.
Just
Close
Jeff.
give
enough.
it
Close
up.
enough. Fine.
Just
Jeff,
give it
get
up.
the
Wait,
capsule.
what par is the moon?
All right.
I want that half point too, by the
Telling
way.
it all up. You didn't make an argument for it.
I
did
said
not.
the same answer.
I fight for what I get, Dave.
Curtis got 4.5, which is a respectable score, sir. I commend you.
Well, I mean, I'm going to hit the liquor box after this.
Dave got 7, and I'm
And
not
a
sure if
half.
this is the first time, but I got
This
all
is
10.
the first time in Science Jerks history
All
anyone
10.
has gotten all 10.
Perfect.
It's pretty good.
Really?
Batting 1,000.
And I say it smells of collusion.
I say winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, accuse.
Thank you very much, Quizmaster Liz. Where can they find you online if they should seek you out?
Number 24, Starfleet at Twitter.com, I guess. I don't know how that shit works.
Thank you very much, Liz. We'll see you next week. Stay away from the liquor box.
No.
It's coming right for us.
An unknown object in nearby galaxy is headed right for us. Chacho here with Chan and our guest, Curtis Rainsberry.
That is your fear. We have covered this before. You're deathly afraid that a fucking a rogue planet is just gonna come out of nowhere.
Or maybe this is a Death Star of
It's
some
like being
sort.
afraid of winning the lottery. The odds are like, you're not going to win. You're not going to get hit.
When I read that there's an unknown object, it's moving towards us at the speed of light,
So-
sending out radio waves, and scientists have no idea what it is.
Whoa.
It sounded like it's basically the beginning of every Bruce Willis movie.
I don't recall Die Hard involving something the speed
he was
of
wearing
light.
that sign that said, there's a speeding object coming at us, and he had the gun taped on his back. Is that what the sign
Oh,
said?
Yeah.
okay. No. I remember
I
that
think
now.
after he
yeah.
walked on
I
the
just-
glass and he was talking to the
Yeah.
cop, they were
Right.
talking
With the
about
sandwich board that, yeah.
interstellar space.
the sandwich board.
So
In the
suddenly-
first movie, right? The sandwich board in the first movie
Yeah.
where he walked around with
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson, who was the
Yeah.
cop at the bottom.
That did something about a speeding object with radio waves. I can't remember the words, but
it goes by really fast.
Yeah.
Might have been a police car.
You have to pause it. They don't know what this is. It showed up suddenly about a year ago, and it's a super bright radio wave emitting thing. And they said it looks like it's going at 4 times the speed of light, but it's actually going less than the speed of light. That's just an optical illusion of relativity or something.
Or we just don't know how to deal with something that's coming at us 4 times the speed of light.
do
so
you
it's just-
think, now, I think this, but do you guys think this is like a viral campaign for HD radio?
Fucking serious,
I do now.
man.
Right?
Oh, wait a minute. What part of the sky is it coming from? Is it coming from the region of the Dog Star?
I'm going to say yes, just to see where you're going with this.
No, but because if it's for fucking Sirius XM
Yeah.
radio, then yeah, it's
They have the
and then-
dog logo.
Yes.
yeah.
It absolutely is coming from Sirius.
What was
Don't.
Keanu Reeves' band
The-
name? Was it
Patronize me.
Dogstar?
It was Dogstar,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because-
this is
yeah.
actually in Galaxy M82, the 82nd best galaxy.
Almost as good as M83.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weep, wee, doop, weep. Weep, wee, doop, weep.
They think it might be a black hole or a micro quasar, which is kind of a
Small quasar.
small, very massive black hole, which emits a high
What's the
radiation.
distance from us at this point?
I did look this up. It doesn't say in the article. When I first read this article, I was like, oh my God, it's coming right for us. We're going to die. So
Giant black hole
just
shooting
before
right
we
towards
started
us.
recording, I looked up the distance. Galaxy M82, 11 million light years away.
This is sensationalized news.
So even if it's
We
going at
have
4
some-
times the speed of light,
We still have quite
3
a
million
few
years
million years to wait. But if we all enter the singularity and live for 11 billion years, this could become an
this
issue.
could become an issue.
This is how they got you to read the whole website. Is they put like the beginning of this article at the top, and we're like, "Stay tuned
Yeah.
after the website."
black hole's coming right for
Yeah.
us.
Is a black hole coming to kill your children at lunchtime?
Exactly.
Film at 11.
Yeah. Answer: nope. Not your children, or their children's children, but maybe their children's might see something.
Could your children be living 11 million years?
Our podcast is streaming out into outer space, so if you're listening to this 11 million years from now,
Sorry, you're gonna
Look up!
But that's our show.
And that's our show. Thank you very much to very special guest Curtis Rainsberry.
Yoo.
C. Rain S. Berry.
at Cranesberry,
At Cranesberry on the Twitter.
lighten up the tweets.
Yeah, lighting up the tweets all day. At a 50
day,
favor the
all
other day,
night.
no biggie.
Yeah. Just blazing some faves,
Yeah.
y'all.
Nice.
I have as many followers as I have toes. so please follow me.
He's got a lot of
I have a
toes.
ton of toes.
A lot of
I'm genetically modified.
I didn't want to say anything, but you brought it up. It's
Yeah.
really creepy.
Yeah, well, if I had known that, eating a bunch of salmon like that wouldn't
Yeah.
have that effect, then yeah, I would be against it. Now I
can't
know.
wear
Now I know.
Vibrams, the 5-toed shoes. I can't because they're a fashion
Did you wear
now.
400 of them?
Yeah.
Any shows coming up? You do some improv teams too, right? You get
Yeah, I have a rotating cast of improv shows. I do the Losers, which is me, Mike Bush, and Jeff Slonaker.
Mike Bush from last week's show.
Yeah, little silly Mike, we call him.
That's silly. Oh, a little silly, Mike. Nobody calls him that.
Yeah, we just did some shows at I.O., and I think we have a few more coming up in February. The dates will be on my Facebook at some point. And then, yeah, in San Francisco at the end of the month for Sketchfest, and then February 5th, I believe, back in L.A. for the Midnight Show, first Saturday of every month.
Yeah.
Check it out and watch those videos online. There's some really hilarious ones and some less hilarious ones.
That's how it works. I mean, to have happiness, you have to have sadness. That's what it is. Sure.
Yeah, the yin and yang of comedy
Viral
videos.
comedy. Check my new book out, The Yin and Yang of Viral Comedy.
Well, thanks for being here, Curtis.
Thanks for having me, guys. Super fun.
Thank you.
All right, you can check us out at ScienceJerks.com or at The Science Jerks on Twitter.
We're on Facebook. You can email us.
Email us through the website, and I'm at Dave Chacho.
I'm at 999 RPMs.
And we are at the end of the show.
Whoa, you brought that all the way around.
Attaboy. I love Satan, spiders, and goats, and now they're all together.
Fucking
almost.
Clash and the
Oh,
Spider
man.
Goats
Yeah.
The
forever.
new Danzig album, Spider
Oh, yeah.
Goats from Hell.
Spider goat. Imagine
I am a spider goat.
new band name.